Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We are getting ready to start day two with Lisa Catto from the UK. And we've had a lot of engagements together. I met her in person in London. She was one of our speakers there. And I feel like I've seen you several times at our Dallas events. And we've done a masterclass together from what I remember, or even a spotlight session. And today, we have her back for day two of our 2-day workshop. We are talking about customer journeys, and we've had such a great feedback about yesterday. A lot of excitement. And to be honest with you, here at High Level, we are going all in on AI. If you are someone that's watching and you are excited just like we are when it comes to AI, I would love to know what you're working on, what industry you're in, what city or state. But the thing about all these things is that customer journey is the foundation of a lot of marketing principles. Customer journey is the foundation of how you use your AI tools and all these things that you build. So I'm excited for you to learn a lot of these fundamentals as we go into summer of AI. If you don't know, we have some really cool things in the works for June, July, August. Lisa, thanks for saying yes again and welcome back, Queen of Automation.
Thanks so much, Paulson. And it has. Our first session we did together, I think, was over 2 years ago when I did just a customer journey overview. And I'm actually going to challenge you on what you said. The customer journey isn't part of or some of, it is everywhere in your business.
Absolutely.
It's in every department, it's in every experience. We have three pillars here. We talk about customer journey, customer experience, and documentation. And it doesn't matter whether it's operations or finance or marketing or sales. When you dive into it, it's all about the customer journey and the customer experience. And customer journey includes what's going on for staff members and the founders as well. So it's in everything, everywhere, all the time.
Absolutely. So I'm curious of who is back for day two. I see a bunch of people trickling in. I know our notifications just went out. So if it's day two for you, type in the letters, I mean, the word day two, kind of, I get an idea of who's sitting in the front of the classroom. Or if it's day one for you, welcome in. And I would love to know what part of the world you're in. We've got Thomas from Pasadena, California, that's saying hello. Hey, Thomas. I'm seeing comments just fly in. There's a little bit of a lag, just so you're aware, on the streaming technologies that we use. We've got Anna in the house, back for day two. We have Wayfinder AI. I think I know who that is. Let's see. Matt Gregory is back. Kishore's back. Let's see. Danny is back. Christine. John Browning, a ton of you are back. We've got somebody from South Africa, Toronto, Colombia, Minneapolis. So the room is starting to get filled up. Uh, Good thing that we have unlimited seats here. So jump in, tell us what you're working on in industry and things like that. So Lisa, if you don't mind, give us a quick review of what we might have missed yesterday, if especially today is somebody's first day. Walk us through an overview of yesterday, and then we can get into day two's agenda.
Right. Well, let's share hopefully the correct tab in my or the correct window. I got bought as a present a 50-inch monitor, and so I end up sharing all sorts of weird sections of my screen or going too extended. So yesterday. Yesterday, we were designing the customer journey. So what we did is we looked at the different phases that somebody could be in at any given time. So we talk about prospecting and capturing leads, which is all the bits before somebody hits the sales process, where we're then going to convert them. And then once we have converted them into clients, all the stuff that happens after. So we've got the overarching life cycle stages that someone's in, and then all the different steps that someone can go through, where you're targeting them, what you're doing to attract their interest, making sure that you capture them no matter where they're coming in from, whether it's from a meta message or an SMS or a chatbot or an AI, whatever it is. and then engaging them and nurturing them into the sales process, where you put the offer in front of them, making sure your sales process is locked in so that you can close them and get their money really easily, low friction, and then make sure they have a really, really great onboarding experience where you impress them, increase their customer lifetime value, and then make sure that you get your case studies and reviews and testimonials, so that that helps support with the social proof at the beginning, at the top of the funnel experience.
I
The
love it.
Thank you. The slides someone's just put up about the slides. Yes, I'm going to be putting up the slides inside of the community. So you should have in the links, that's the community, in the links, you will see the ideal customer journey. Ideal customer blueprint, customer journey blueprint even. So the
Yeah.
customer journey blueprint website will lead you straight to the community. And inside the community is also a course for the customer journey blueprint snapshot that you would have got when you signed up here. And in there, there's all sorts of other resources, including the slide deck from this presentation today.
Perfect. And it's all free for you, just so you're aware.
Yeah, all free. Nothing's gated. I'm giving it all away. I've been giving this away. This is, you know, I talk about giving away value in the customer journey, and I have, over the last 15 years of doing this, just given it away, giving it away, and giving it away. And what that does is it creates a really good feeling. The people that want to work with me, they're pre-sold and they want to work, and they can really see that that's how we behave in every interaction that we do. Value, value, value first all the time. And then the people that aren't ready to work with us, they're still getting value. Maybe they'll work with us someday, but we're just happy that the knowledge that we have, because the pie is big enough for everyone to win, is the love's being passed forward and people are succeeding using the resources that we have.
I love that, Lisa, because I think that's a mindset pattern I've seen in the community of high level. When you meet with people in person in the conferences, it was very refreshing to see marketers and experts get together and be very collaborative. Apparently, it's an unusual thing, Lisa. In other communities, that's kind of rare from what I understand.
It can be. People sometimes like to play their cards close to their chest. I've been so grateful for the last 15 years. There's a good community of kind of elite automation architects who have been doing it for very many years, who in the normal course of events, one would call competition. And they have always been so abundant with me. I think you had one, Brad Martineau, he spoke at Dallas a couple
Oh
of years
yeah,
ago.
yeah,
He was one of my
that's
mentors. He
amazing.
taught me, you'll see that it's that same message, different voice. So I did a lot of training with Brad and other people, and I've just taken their knowledge and condensed it into my voice of what works for me. And everything that I'm showing you here is we do it for ourselves. In fact, I've got here our customer journey. I thought might be useful to go through whilst the customer journey that we were looking at yesterday, which is what is in this, what's been built inside of the snapshot. I've got my customer journey here. So this is actually what we do that I thought might be useful to walk through as something that everybody here is basically part of right now, and to be able to see what it is that we do in our business. Because I do believe that imitation is great, but you have to give it your own flavor always. You can't just kind of directly copy from people. So we're going to be having a little walk through that today as well. But
Yeah,
yes, collaboration all the
a-
time.
absolutely. Brad is a great guy. I had him as um, one of the panelists for my SaaSPRENEUR Awards at the conference, and he is someone that's been in the automation world for like many decades.
Many
So,
decades. Yes,
so,
yes.
so Lisa, at the end of today, end of day two, what's our goal as we're hosting this? Like, how should the audience feel at the end of the session today? What's the objective? What's the goal that we have in mind? Are we going to go inside the app? Is it more strategic and just kind of clearing out the foundations? Like, well, let's set the agenda forward so everyone's on the same page and we can just kind of align together.
So the intention for today is that you have designed your customer journey stage by stage, and that you are now going to get ready for how you're going to build that journey. So it's the design and the deployment. So we're going to get you ready so that you are absolutely ready to jump off the starting block to dive into high level. But the steps that we're going to cover today are going to help you get there faster and more successfully once you're in there. So I'm going to share with you all of our SOPs and all of the ways that we prepare before we build. It's going back to the Lego model. And this is a Brad Martineau metaphor, you have the picture on the box, and then we look at the blocks that we need to build the model that's on the box. And now what we're going to do today is the plan of how those blocks go together, so that we don't build something that's going to be a little bit shaky or going to fall over. Or if there's new technology such as AI come along, or you add a new service to your customer journey, that you don't have to tear it all down and rebuild it up. So today's about creating the deployment plan for the customer journey that you designed yesterday.
Can we have everyone in the chat type in either Legoland or Lego World? Because I like to see high level. My perception of high level is very simple. It's like, it's a huge toolkit like a Legoland where you can build whatever you want. Some people build the smallest things, some people build the largest things. At the end of the day, it's about knowing how all the tools fit together. And for you to do that, you have to have a really good grasp of your customer journey, which is what Lisa's going to teach from many years of experience she has building these businesses, right? So I see folks, I'm just creating engagement intentionally, you guys. I'm asking people to type in random words. One, it helps to stream in case if you didn't know when it comes to webinar. But I just like the excitement of all of us together, right? It helps the guests that we have. It helps all of us just to stay engaged. So I appreciate you engaging. And so just housekeeping rules. First, most common question I ask is, do we get the slides? Answer is yes. Is this recorded? Yes. Can I find yesterday's footage somewhere? Yes, it's in all the channels, right? Any social channel that we're streaming, go there, you'll find day one. So, and all the resources Lisa's sharing as examples and, the entire thing, we will share that with you as well. Okay. So I see all the engagement. So let's get started completely, and I'm going to get out of the way here a little bit, Lisa.
Yes, you get out the way and let me just blather on here. So yesterday we built a map. So what I'll do is I think I'm going to go through my map as an example of something that you might have. So as I said, we started when I was showing the screen, I was showing the blueprint. This is what the snapshot is that has been given to you as part of signing up for here. But I thought it might be useful for you to see what my customer journey is. So this is actually what my customer journey is. I'm targeting people on social channels and with my email list. I get a lot of referrals. Part of that is the HighLevel directory as a certified admin. And if you are somebody that wants to offer high-level building as a service, you should definitely check out the certified admin program. I also do networking, and I appear as guests on podcasts and webinars such as this. I attract people with different lead magnets, with my blogs, with posts that I'm putting on LinkedIn and my website. And I do webinars and workshops for other business owners and their business groups. And of course, there's the Customer Journey Blueprint website that all of you should have gone to in order to get the access to the community, the avatar workshop, avatar exercise, offer exercise, and also to be able to get your copy of this board. So that for me is a lead magnet. As you can see here, as we go down, I capture people from opt-ins, but everything is really pushing towards one place where I make the offer. I'm funneling all of these top of funnel activities into one place, keeping it really simple. You do not want a complicated customer journey where you're all over the place and trying to capture everybody's interest all over the place. You just want to channel everybody into a nice simple place. Mine is a discovery call. I've got these engagement things going on. I'm sorry if does my screen seem blurry to you right now, Paulson, or someone saying the screen's blurry? It looks
It's not necessarily blurry, but it's not zoomed in
okay.
deep enough. Yeah, so it looks a bit
Okay,
blurry.
there
Yeah.
we are. Thanks for the heads up on that. If you do need to give me a heads up, I have got half an eye on those comments. So I've got people, I've got engagement going on. So we've got places where we've got people that are ready to commit, and they're like, yeah, I want to get on a discovery call. But sometimes people aren't ready for that step yet, and if they're not ready for that step, you want to keep people engaged. Where do I keep people engaged? I keep them engaged in the community. I keep them engaged in a Facebook group, and I've got an email sequence going out. I don't often ask people to book in for a discovery call, but I make sure that they know where they can come when they are ready. If I have got some kind of event going on, then yes, there's a much stronger call to action. So once they get on a discovery call, which is where I make the offer, I then send out the proposal. The proposal is where I close the deal, where they sign on the dotted line, takes them to straight away to an invoice. Obviously, all of that's all in HighLevel. And then once they sign that invoice or sign that proposal, the welcome sequence starts. Now, this isn't, as I was saying to Paulson, your customer journey isn't just about marketing and customer facing stuff. When somebody signs a document, all of our back end stuff starts whirring into action. Our project boards start creating and Google Drive start creating, all automatically happening as soon as somebody signs up, with notifications going out, whether it's to the finance department, whether it's to the ops team to assign a lead engineer on it. All of that happens completely automatically when somebody signs their proposal with us. Then once the first thing we do is our mapping call, where the process I've shown you today is that always the first thing that we do. We never, ever build anything without designing it and planning it first. And then we go into rhythm meetings, impressing our clients by making sure that they always get weekly updates from us. Some clients will get a welcome gift. And we also constantly got an eye on the new updates that HighLevel's releasing, whether they're going into labs on beta, whether it's new UI releases or the summer of AI, to make sure that our users have the very latest information. And we're always looking at how we can improve their systems by making sure we're up to date with the technology. Then we're into making sure that we get our testimonials and our case studies. So as part of our onboarding, we are capturing where someone is at. If you've ever come into a discovery call with me, I've got a form which asks you specifically what the problem is that we're solving. If you're not sure, it will be uncovered on the mapping, which makes it super easy to create a case study because we know where you started. We sure as hell know where you've ended up and the transformation that we've created. And then we're able to put our case studies up, which help with the sales process. So that is what our own customer journey looks like. We do drink our own Kool-Aid. So once we have got the map in place, and I hope you guys, does everybody on the call, have they got their map, at least a version of your map? It doesn't have to be perfect at this point. Just an overview of your diagram is going to be really, really, really useful. Once we've got the plan, once we know what it is we're going to build, we need to kind of dial in on where it is we're going to start. Because if you start trying to do everything in one go, you're going to end up making your head spin, going backwards and forwards, running back and forth, kind of go, well, I want to do this bit. Oh, no, I want to do that bit. Now, we work in two specific currencies. We work in saving you time and growing your revenue. So one of the things that is really valuable is your time. If you can save your time, you can then invest that time in higher value activities in your business and get out of your own way. As I said yesterday, if you can save 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, 12 times a day, you've regained an hour. If you can do that every day, that's 5 hours a week, 20 hours a month, which is 38-hour working days in a year, which is absolutely enormous. I call it incremental is exponential. So when we're looking at where we want to start in our customer journey, it's not always about the customer. It can be very much about you and how you can have a smoother ride for yourself to be able to create more value for your customers. Then, of course, there's looking at where the revenue is possibly leaking out of your customer journey. Have you got gaps? Is everybody being followed up with when they need to be followed up with? Have you got a sales pipeline to know where everybody is at any given time to make sure that you are following up? It's not sitting in a sent item somewhere, but you are actually tracking it. Have customers stalled? Are they communicating with you? So you will know where things are in your customer journey feeling like there's a little bit of a bottleneck going on. Sometimes it is a little bit of like sensing that something's just not quite right here. I actually had a client once who didn't want to do any marketing because his delivery was too overwhelming. He didn't want to bring any new clients in because he didn't want to have to onboard them. So the first thing we looked at was his onboarding process and how we could smooth that out and reduce the friction there. So it's not a leads problem. A lot of people go, "Oh, I need more leads, I need more leads." But you need to be looking downstream to make sure that any new leads that come in are going to be worthwhile and are not going to just be a waste of time because you haven't got that end of the customer journey locked in, which is why we start with the end in mind. It's why I always start with the point of conversion. So I've got some tools that we're going to look at here where you can actually start to look at where the ROI is on either your time or your money in your business and how fast you can get results.
Lisa, before we go into measuring the efficiency of the process, can we set the stage on what you just shared for a quick second?
Yeah.
So so as a previous marketing agency owner, I want to clarify a couple of things. If you are brand new starting out and you're listening to Lisa today, everything may or may not apply to you, right? In today's realm, it's all about setting appointments and closing appointments. All the stuff about two call close, one call close, calendars, all the stuff, like put that to the side, but know and be aware that that is part of something that you have to build out. But don't let the building of it get in the way of your sales activity. So that's the first thing. Set appointments, close appointments. Nothing else matters. The second thing is this: don't overbuild too early and get attached to what you're building. Like the way you build $1,000 marketing agency and the way you build a $10,000 marketing agency versus 100,000 a month marketing agency are drastically different. Those are three different types of businesses, three different types of ownership of process. And guess what? As soon as you unlock one of those thresholds, you almost throw away everything you build out and you're building a whole different business and processes. You may have inspiration, but at the end of the day, guess what? You as the entrepreneur may not be part of half of those processes that you once were, right? So don't get overly attached to the SOPs and the things that you're building because tomorrow your offer may change, the industry may change, you may change, or your team may change, right? So the world of building a digital business altogether, it's a dynamic North Star all the time internally. Just wanted to set the stage there because what Lisa's sharing is perfect for a mid-size agency, perfect for a solopreneur that's got a lot of volume and things like that. But if you are under, I would say, less than five customers, don't wait to build all these things out to go get sales done, right? Lisa, what are your thoughts on what I've shared?
100%. Start simple, get fancy later. This is why the customer journey blueprint snapshot that you got when you signed up for this workshop is exactly that. It's the foundations that any business is going to need for the sales process, is identifying who it is that you're targeting and what you're doing to attract them. But the main bit is here, right? Is making sure that you are capturing them and that they're coming into a sales process. So this has already been set up for you in the snapshot with a capture mechanism going to a calendar with a proposal template with the stages of the sales pipeline ready so that you can track where people are at. So the principles that I'm showing you is like, you might have some of this already in place and some of it might not be relevant. You might not be sending proposals. You might be an e-commerce where it's put it in the basket and check out. You might be a clinic that's just getting patients coming in. You've got to look at this, which is what we looked at yesterday, which is who are you in this journey? And you've got to be thinking about how you can adapt what we've got here to your sales process. But it's about knowing where to bring the attention first. That if you are capturing people, great. Is your calendar set up? Have you got the means by which, have you synced your Google Calendar? Are people coming in? Are you able to have the call with them and send the proposal? I always start, as I said, with where the money exchanges hands, where people are actually able to convert into clients. Because if everything before then is ramped up and you haven't got the means to convert, you're going to be losing time and you're going to be losing money. So sticking where the cash is first is going to be your priority. But if you've got that locked in already, then great. Then make sure your calendar's locked in. Maybe it's about everything that we're doing here today is about automation, but it's also about your business systems. So if that is locked in, is your sales process locked in that you could hand this off to somebody else so that you can go and get on with something else? You got to understand who you as an individual are in your business and where you should, and more importantly, should not be spending your time, because it's more valuable. If you're great at marketing, go and do marketing. If you're great at sales, do sales. If you're brilliant at delivery, do delivery and get somebody else to do the sales and marketing. But you need this. What I'm teaching you today is how to know where to prioritize the focus in your business and to be able to create the processes, whether it's inside of HighLevel or in your business, so that you can actually start to build a foundation where you can release up your time and increase your revenue.
Absolutely. If you want to share your screen again, I'll throw it back on the streaming here. But it's an important piece that everyone should really understand is when to build what you need, right? Sometimes a lot of people hide behind the building of the business and they don't focus on sales aggressively enough. And they look up and it's like, well, I don't have clients yet. I don't know what's going on. And this industry doesn't work. That offer doesn't work. Well, somebody's making money in every industry. It's not the industry, I promise you. So
It's not the industry. It's normally you're not. The problems that you will have is you're either speaking to the wrong person with the right message. You're speaking to the right person with the wrong message. It's going to be one of those things, because everybody out there is a customer and your only competition is who else are they spending money with. So if you've got your avatar locked in, who you're talking to, you know what it is that you're selling them and the problem that you're solving, which is your messaging, then that's what we were talking about yesterday, is getting that really locked in. So you good for me to keep going now? The next step is understanding where the ROI is in your business. So I did a little matrix for you here of if you are in the community and you have access to the course for the customer journey blueprint, I've also given you one of our playbooks, and you'll see that I've put the matrix in here as well. So everything we're doing, there's exercises and there's resources for you to be able to use it offline after this call as well. So if you have a look at a matrix where top to bottom is high to low impact and left to right is how difficult or complex it is to be able to achieve it, whether it's automation or whether it's something else in your business. So start to map on there and score things as far as, well, is this going to have a really high impact on my business, or is it kind of a nice to have but not need to have? Is it something that is low effort or high effort? And when you start to build on this matrix, you'll start to get clear on where it is you need to bring focus in your business. Do you have a client acquisition problem, or do you have a problem where you've got cash flow that you need to fix first? And what's the solution for that? This is the domino fix, is the thing that's going to have the highest impact and the lowest complexity is the thing that's going to have the best impact in your business, and the domino effect of knocking it forward that will have a chain reaction on everything else in your business. There's an exercise in here too where you can estimate the time. So I'm just going to flip back over here because it's whilst I've got it on the slide, it's easier to see here. This is just done in a Google Sheet, and this I've got.
Lisa, if you could zoom this by maybe 144%, that's
How's that?
usually, maybe go back just a little bit.
Sure thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good right there. Thank you.
All right, great. Okay. So if you were to have a look at the things you want to fix, which are referred to as gaps here in your business, and see what impact it's having on your business, score it. Like, how much time is it going to cost me if I don't fix it? So is it going to cost me a small amount of time, or it's only 5 minutes? Or in fact, and with one business, it was critical. They had sales agents, 3 sales agents, and a single sales process was taking each agent 3 hours a day. So when we solved that problem and got it down to 20 minutes, we'd essentially saved them 9 hours a day. So that was a critical thing, which was like, this is a big time saving that we can have here. Yours is probably not as much as 9 hours a day, but if something is costing you 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day that you're doing on repeat every day or every week, then you probably want to look at solving that problem. If it's something that is 5 minutes or less, then it's probably minor. Then we can have a look at the revenue cost. If something is in your customer journey that is costing you money that you haven't managed to solve yet, then you want to have a look at how much money is it costing me? Like, is it costing me $500 a month, or is it costing me $2,000 a month? And there you can score, is this incredible saving? You can then score here, well, okay, it's a kind of medium here. Like, I could probably get back an additional $500 a month if I solved this problem. Oh, well, how difficult is it going to be? How complex is it going to be to need to fix this? Is it super complicated? Can I do it myself? Is it all right? I can get it done. Or is it super simple? I'm just going to go with moderate on this one too. You'll be able to assess for yourself of how difficult or easy it is to get it solved, and how quickly are you going to be able to see the results? Is it going to be, it's going to be a month, or I'll see this by next week? So if you're going to have, let's say it's going to take a month before you see the results, you can see here, this has given me a score of 8. So going back to the matrix that we were looking at, that would be in the plan this second. Anything, well, you'd look at the numbers that are highest, but this way of being able to score things and go, okay, now that I've got these 4 different KPIs, key performance indicators, or indicative numbers, I can go, the one with the highest number is the thing that you need to give attention to first. Does that make sense, Paulson? So it gives you a way to be able to prioritize where you bring focus on your business, and you can do this on any area of your business as an assessment.
Absolutely. I think this is important because as your business gets busier and busier and more clients come in, you'll see larger gaps. You'll see where the quicker you grow, the more expensive your time becomes. The more expensive a lack of process becomes, the more expensive, and the consequences are bigger and bigger as you get bigger and bigger.
And this is an exercise that you will come back to time and time again. Now, this playbook, this is obviously very simple. All I've got here is numbers, and this is adding up those numbers. But if you want a copy of this playbook, which we're going to be looking at all the different tabs on here as we go through today, because being able to centralize information in your business in one place is a really good way to help conquer the chaos. Inside of the community, if you go into the course for the customer journey blueprint, you'll be able to see and access the very playbook that I'm working on right now inside of the customer journey snapshot overview. It is, turn that off for a start. You'll be able to see that here. You can actually download the spreadsheet for yourself. So, estimating, identifying the gaps, having a look at in your customer journey, where are you going to get the biggest return on the investment of your time and money? And if you're not sure and it's like it's not completely evident to you, you can then use the calculation there to be able to calculate with the highest number of where you should bring the attention to your business. Let me go back to, so this was high impact but low complexity versus high impact, high complexity. So if it is high complexity, you will want to plan carefully. And we're going to look at how to plan things as well in a minute. If something is going to be like low impact, then you know, defer it, put it on the back boiler, get somebody else to do it. Just remember that as the business owner, your time in the business is the most valuable. So we want to be looking at how we get you out of those $5 tasks by leveraging the automation in HighLevel to be able to support you, or building the operating procedures, the processes for somebody else to do it. So score your gaps, find out where it is that you can create value and time in revenue in your business. In every customer journey, there is one thing that you can fix, which is going to make so many more of the other problems in your business much, much more easy to handle if you can get yourself out of that. For me, it was getting me out of handling support for our end users. We have hundreds and hundreds of end users. And at the very beginning of my HighLevel journey, a lot of that support was handled by me. And then it's the building of the actual systems. A lot of that was handled by me. So we've chipped away, firing me from different roles in the business by using this very technique that I'm showing you today, so that I can get on with the higher value strategic tasks and the things that I'm good at in the business, and have a fantastic team where we've processed out each of those roles. So once you've found your domino, then you need to get ready to build. Now, it's really important, the things that we covered yesterday, to make sure that you're ready to build. What does that actually mean? Do you know who you're selling to? Do you know who the journey has been built for? It's really important. Please don't be thinking that your journey is suitable for everybody, because that scattergun approach, if you're trying to sell to everybody, you're pretty much selling to nobody. So get really clear on the individual persona, the person, like you're having a conversation with them, that your solution can really, really create value for. Is your offer clear? Do you know when to make the offer? Do you know what that offer is? Or you just kind of go, I think today I'll sell it for this much. Get really clear on what it is that you're selling, the offer, the value that people are going to get when they exchange money for your product or your service. Now, don't cheat yourself. Make sure that whilst your map can be aspirational and you've got things that you want to do later, which is a distraction, keep it simple, get fancy later. That's a Brad Martineau-ism, is you can have things that you want to do later. And I have, oh my God, I have so many ideas before breakfast. That drives my team mad. I'm actually not allowed to talk to them about it. I have a once a month meeting where we go through what's in the backlog of what Lisa's, ideas are next. And they have to be qualified to make sure that they're not interfering with the plans we've got on the table. But is making sure that you don't trip over yourself. Don't try and do everything at once. Do the high impact things and prioritize them, and just get them knocked off one at a time. And by going slower, you will go further. I promise you, from firsthand experience.
Lisa, can we pause for a moment and do a small exercise?
100%, of course.
So, when I go to conferences or events, I often ask a lot of marketers, what do you do for a living? Like, what is your expertise? And I often get responses that explains how they deliver their services. Like, hey, Michael, what do you do for a living? And I always get the response, well, I run Facebook ads for whatever industry, right? Like it's always like how you deliver the service,
Yeah.
not focused on the outcome of what they bring to the table. So let's pause for a moment. In the comments, if you are down to just kind of do a small exercise with us, help me understand, what is your offer? What do you guys all do as a professional, as a marketer, as a consultant? Maybe you're watching this and you're a small business owner, or maybe a franchiser, and you're thinking, okay, what should my offer be? So I'm going to look at the comments here and I'm going to read out some of these, and I want your feedback, Lisa, on some of these. Uh,
Well, I mean, we can kick it off, right? Because when people ask me what I do, is I say that we save time, we help people save time, get organized, and grow sales. I don't, it's that kind of thing. So it's the outcome, exactly what Paulson said. It's not what do you do day to day when you're at your computer, is what is the transformation that you're creating for people. So I can't wait to see what some of these comments are that we're going to see now.
Yeah, we've got Allison saying, I eliminate distractions for CEOs so they can focus on what matters. I actually like that. I think I bailed a few people out by giving an example of what you shouldn't do. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But either way, okay, Chris is saying, I help business owners grow their authority online. Dale says to help alleviate disease. Ben says mine rhymes. Yeah, so type down, comment down, what is your offer? What do you do exactly for an industry? So, the way I would look at it is to not focus on how you deliver the service. That usually guides people to focus on the outcome that you're producing. So, like when I was in the dental industry with my own marketing agency, they would ask me, what do you do, Paulson? Technically, as a marketer, fellow marketer, what I would do is run Facebook ads. Back then, we didn't even call it Meta, right? I would run Facebook ads for Invisalign and bring them consults, right? But if a dentist asks me what I do, it's simple. I bring people through your front door from online.
I love that. I
That's
used
it.
I used to, you can have a bit of fun with it. I used to be part of a networking group many years ago, and the photographer used to shoot people in the face. And the guy doing direct response would be shoving customers through the letterbox, that kind of thing. So you can have a bit of fun with it too.
Love it. So I see more examples coming in. I help businesses soar, strategize, organize, advertise, and reach customers, right? I help people increase the quality of their lives by becoming more healthy and fit physically and mentally. We've got someone saying, I help real estate professionals focus on income producing activities by conducting their loan signings. I help professionals alleviate their image to increase revenue. I help people with home service industries. Um, so Lisa, your thought was on point, which was there's two currencies, right? And that applies to the customer, right? That applies to the avatar that we're serving. They also have one or two or maybe three currencies that they're either trying to save time, save budget on something, or speed of progress. Like there's something there. Can you just reiterate what you mean by that and how it could apply to their end customer as well?
Yeah, it's about the value that you're bringing. So this is about solving the problem for people. I mean, one of the things that I like is the time, cost, quality. If someone wants something done fast, they're going to be compromising on cost or quality, right? Is you can't have something that is quality that is going to be quick to necessarily deliver and cheap on cost. So looking at the solution that people want and making sure that you're speaking to that. What is it? When I'm working with people, they don't necessarily want to have something that is cheap. They want to have something that is quality, that is saving them time and increasing their revenue. And that's what we talk about, as well as being organized. So when they're coming to us, they've got one of those three problems that we're solving. It's like, oh, nobody knows what to do in this business. We haven't got any SOPs, standing operating procedures, or, oh, never have enough time to get this done, or I definitely have got gaps in my sales process where I'm leaving money on the table. And I think everybody here will have a version of that they can solve for their clients with their service. It's different if you're in the medical. If you've got patients, they're looking to feel better and have more energy. It's a different kind of currency. What is the currency of your avatar? Are they looking for more energy? Are they looking for more time? Are they looking for more health and nutrition? Is that what is the currency that they're looking for to increase with you?
I love it. As you spend some time and do this exercise with us, I'm reminded of what you said yesterday in the very beginning of our workshop, Lisa. I don't even know if you might have caught it. You said it's so important to know who you are before you can figure out how you serve someone, right? And I think of the business models like, are you a high volume, speed oriented business? So like a McDonald's, like a Starbucks, like are you a low ticket, high volume? There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad thing. The way you look at the market and go to market changes based on who you are, right? Or are you a more like a Brad Martin, you who is a big enterprise service oriented business that work with all the automations tools in the world, right? And he's quite pricey, and that's kind of the way he functions. He's been like that for, I don't know, 20 plus years, as long as I've known him, right? It takes a lot of resources to play, right? So you have to kind of know who you are in order to answer this question of, you know, basically presenting your offer. So Lisa, let's get back to the slides. I just wanted to pause for a second and do an exercise here because the offer has to be clear. If it's not clear, you won't be able to do a true foundational customer journey that makes sense.
Yeah, it's if you can't express clearly the value that you are going to be delivering for your customers, then they are going to have a hard time buying from you. So that's why the pre-work to the customer journey of who are you, who are they, what are you selling them, and what's your content and your value around being able to put into your messaging so that people are very clear that if you want a customer journey, you come to Lisa. So
Yeah.
it's really clear. And if you want Invisalign, you're going to go to this dentist. It's like people need to be able to identify in probably not more than 3 words what it is that you do, which is why we refer to automated customer journeys. It kind of encompasses everything that we do. And when I landed on that several years ago, my business exploded because I wasn't going, oh, well, we connect up different tools and Zapier, and we're a CRM, and we do email marketing, and we send SMSs out, and it was just too complicated for people to get their head around. If you can find 3 cool words that will explain to people what you do, then you're at the beginning of a conversation to be able to explain more, because people will go, oh, that sounds like something I need, or something that I work with, or something that I want. So let's head back over. I love our conversations. I could just speak all day about this. So before we run out of time, okay. What getting ready for build means is having all these things fixed in and identified. There's no point kind of going further if these are a maybe, because you're going to come back and have to do it again. And that's not to say your customer journey is not a fixed thing, because your business is growing, your market is growing and changing, and you need to be ready to go in and review it all the time. We review ours normally quarterly. So once you've identified the gaps, you're going to be looking at, okay, do I have the skills to build it myself inside a HighLevel? There is an enormous amount of resource, but if you're not technical or you're not comfortable, then finding somebody who is skilled, probably a certified partner or in the community, a certified admin, would help you not have to spend a lot of time on YouTube videos and help articles to get that bit done. Does the fix exist already? Are you able to invest either time or money in building it yourself? And if it's not a real gap, then just kind of put it on the back bench, put it onto something that you is nice to have, not a need to have. So if you do have the skills, great, get on and build it. If you don't, then you're going to have to bring in that resource. And otherwise, you're going to put it on the back shelf, because although you'd like it, it's not necessarily, like connecting up Claude API as a private integration to be able to do automatic social media posts during HighLevel. It's like, for me, that's a nice to have. Haven't quite got around to it yet, but I will do when it's important enough. So don't try and build everything at once. That you will create mayhem, you will create overwhelm. And if you already have a live business, you've got to remember that you are operational with that business as well. And if you have team members, it's important that they adopt the new system that you're putting in as well. If you just build something new and slam it in front of existing team members, you're not going to be very welcome. Let them be part of the process as well. So, the playbook. This is where the magic happens for me. This is where we really plan to build, which is understanding for each of the processes that we have in our customer journey, how we're going to implement it. So if, for example, let's just go with the discovery call as an example. Each one of these blocks in your customer journey map, you're going to explode out. You're going to dive into it and you're going to explode it out into all the elements that are necessary for it. So where does, as an example, and this is on the plays tab here, and this is what we do with all the systems that we build, is we will come in here and we will design what the flow looks like. So the desired outcome is going to be, let's say that they book a call. The reporting for that might be something like how many people opt in versus how many people actually book a call. And then we might have how many people show up to the call. What's the stage of the customer life cycle that this falls in? I'm going to say that this is falling in the engage phase. And where does it actually start? When does this process actually kick off? Is it an opt-in? Is it when somebody actually books into the calendar? So let's say that they opt in. That's the point at which this process is going to kick off, the minute that somebody fills in that form saying that they want a call. Now I want to know at the other end, well, when do I know that it's finished? When do I actually know it's finished? And I'm going to say that this is actually finished when the calendar appointment is confirmed. So I know when it starts and I know when it finishes. So here I'm going to go, okay, well, they opt in. What's going to happen next is they're going to get either directed straight to the calendar, but what happens if they take a detour? What happens if they opt in for that lead magnet and the thank you page as a calendar, but they don't actually book into the calendar? I'm going to need to remind them. It's what we call a contingency sequence. So I'm going to put in here, we're going to wait maybe for a minute, then we're going to send an email, and then we're going to wait, and then we're going to send another email, and this is going to continue with these activities. We're probably going to also, let's say, add them to an opportunity, and then as soon as this happens, it's going to finish. As soon as they book in their calendar appointment, all of this stops, and we're going to hand this off as the starting point for the next automation, which is then going to send out the reminders, and then that's going to finish when they show up. Oops. We also have an exit here, which is like, well, what happens if someone expires in this sequence and it just kind of finishes and they don't do anything? Is you probably want to add them to like a long-term nurture. And by planning this out before you ever go into HighLevel to start building something means that you're going to have a much smoother ride in the build. Understanding where this process fits in to your customer journey, you know what's coming before, you know what's happening afterwards, and then making sure that you have all the elements, because I'm just going to put this on here. There we go. Because you're going to need certain elements to make sure that this is in place. So for your form, you're going to want to make sure that you've got the right questions on the form, or that you are delivering the lead magnet when you've got it all mapped out here. You can then go, okay, well, the trigger, I need to maybe embed the form on my website. What are the requirements? Do I have copying created? Do I actually need that lead magnet? Do I need to have the page that the lead magnet sits in? Do I need, if you're a dentist, you might be using like an electronic health record, and you're going to want to have that connected in as well. In the days before HighLevel, trust me, we had to connect up with a shed ton more different software than we do today, because so much of it is already integrated natively with HighLevel. It's an absolute joy. So that has been that's been brilliant. But you're going to need copy for, let's say, the landing page. Ooh, you're going to need copy for the emails. So understanding, diagnosing before prescribing the answer. We have a saying here, which is diagnosis, prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. Is really understanding the elements that you're going to need to build it. It's going to save you so much time from going back and forth. So if you've got someone building for you, or if you're building for yourself, it's like a recipe. It's, if you're baking a cake, you want to make sure that you've got the butter, you've got the sugar, and you've got the eggs. You don't want to go to the grocery store and pick up the butter and come home and go, oh, I haven't got any eggs. And then go back to the store and then come back and go, oh, I haven't got any vanilla essence. And then go back to the store. By doing this first, it means you know all of the elements that you need up front, which will give you the sanity and save you a lot of time when it comes to actually doing the build. So this is how we plan out everything. And then when we planned it out for our clients, we go to them, right, we now need for you to give us this copy, this creative, this image, whatever it is, in order that we can complete this. And we won't even start it until we've got all of those things in place, because we don't want to have to go back and forth and remember where we left it and what we need and all the rest of it. And it keeps everybody on track. Does that make sense, Paulson?
Absolutely. I think the beautiful part about this is that you keep track of all the processes you have as you build them out, right? So in let's say 4 months down the line, you can look back at the list of your SOPs and know where everything is. You have a place of truth. You have a place of, a place where you can measure the quality of it. And again, don't get married to any of these processes. You're going to throw it out as soon as you get to certain thresholds in business, right? So you're going to rebuild as soon as you get to a certain level all the time. The key is to unlock different thresholds in business. So just be mindful that don't be so rigorous about the process. If the customer comes through, if you see a pattern of customers not filling out a certain question all the time, or not opting into a certain step all the time, well, maybe you overbuilt something that customers don't like. Maybe there is a resistance there that you have to study or talk to your customers about and see if it makes sense for them. Because a lot of times we build based on our comfort and what's easy for us, and we don't think about whether that's easy for your avatar or your customers.
You're 100% right. I was on with a client earlier today, and their landing page, and they built it in Claude actually, and they had this enroll button. And what the enroll button did was it scrolled down to the section on the page that was showing the pricing. But it's like, I said I want to enroll. Why are you now making me go into the pricing section and then click through to the checkout page? So identifying these little moments of friction and being able to smooth them out in your customer journey. And you should definitely get friends and families and colleagues to go through your customer journey and allow them to come back with constructive criticism of what the experience was like for them. So the idea of this, once we have what we call our playbook with all of the plays in there, it means that when we do want to add something in, we want to add in a new lead magnet, or we want to go and find like, where's that email going out from? We've got it all laid out, exactly as Paulson said. And it doesn't necessarily have to be pretty. It has to be functional. And this is part of when we're building inside of HighLevel. It can, if you're not the only person that's going in there, whether it's now or in the future, you want to have half an eye on being able to track back what was going on at the time of your thinking. So in here, this is what's inside of the customer journey blueprint playbook that we're giving to you, which is This is the actual playbook for I'm going to have to reduce this a bit. This is the actual playbook for the snapshot that we're giving you. So it shows you all of the automations that are in there. We've given them numbers so that we can clearly identify where this process sits in the customer life cycle and what stage it sits in. You can see here that the tags and everything are named, and there's a video in there which explains this, which is making sure that you can see what a tag's function is and where a tag lives. This is about keeping your CRM tidy so that you can have complete clarity, and anybody that's going into it, if you are hiring a certified admin, or you've got a colleague or someone working with you that's going into the system, that it's absolutely clear that everything to do with the new inquiry, whether it's the form, the funnel, the workflow, has the same name, so you can see they're all partnered together. So that we've given you our actual playbook. We have one of these for each of our clients, and there is a video in there too of how this works inside of the course. It's not as complicated as it looks. So these things together will help you really have a robust system that doesn't feel like you're having to untangle a big ball of string if you need to go back to it at a later stage and see what's going on.
Give me a yes in the chat if you are following. If we need to slow down, if we need to pause, or because sometimes we're
Often
just
worried that I'm overcomplicating things.
no, it's not that. I don't think it's that. It's more in the sense of just letting people absorb a lot of
Yeah,
the information because you have years of experience where you're sharing, like sometimes the smallest things that me and you are just talking through are big aha moments for some people, or vice versa. Some small thing that we don't clarify can confuse people. So I just want to make sure everyone's following, right? These are great way. It sounds funny to have a log to keep your CRM tidy, right? So like, but
the
it's important.
documentation. It's the documentation. It's the handbook. It's the instruction manual. Going back to the Lego principle, right? This is the map. So we've got the picture on the box, and we're now showing how the blocks go together as if we are going to be building that Lego model. If we had to hand this off to someone else, they could, which is what we do. This is how it started. I had to show engineers working on my team exactly how I wanted something built with tags and all the rest of it, especially in CRMs that are not high level and as simple to build in as HighLevel is. So it's like by handing this off, I handed them the complete plan and blueprint of how I wanted it all to be built. This, I wish I had a prop here of what, if you've got an IKEA furniture, right? It's
Oh
like you've got
yeah,
pictures, and then you've got the little bags of screws, and that this is what this is. This is the map, that you've got the overview picture of what the finished product's going to look like. And then you've got how these blocks are going to fit together and why, so that it makes sense and it's logical.
yeah. And I think the key is to know where you are in business, right? If you have less than 5 customers, don't spend hours and hours building stuff. Give yourself 30, 40 minutes a day to work on 1%. By the end of the month, you'll have 30% of things that you've accomplished that you had on your list at least, right? So go slow, go steady, and go disciplined, and just remember, you're not gonna build everything overnight. It just takes a little bit of time as you learn, okay? So don't feel intimidated by, man, Lisa's got this entire thing figured out and built out. Well, I promise you, Lisa started one day at a time, just like you are here today.
I did. And this is why the customer journey blueprint snapshot is the foundational bits that you need. Now, the beauty of HighLevel, what it offers you is to be able to create these repeatable processes so that there's different types of users in the ecosystem. Like we've got small businesses who are just starting out, who have got less than 5 clients. And then we've got people who are really flying, who are maybe doing a webinar or are have got a much higher rate of people coming in, where you've got a much more robust system. And then you've got people that go, well, I do solar panel installation, and I've got lots of other people who also do solar panel installation, and I want to resell my system to them. And what this enables you to do is rinse and repeat something that you have already built, especially if it's been built well, for other people to be able to repurpose. And that's what snapshots are. And building a good quality snapshot is a fantastic way also to be able to increase your revenue, even if you're something really simple to help people out to create their system for them. And that's what this customer journey blueprint system is for. So I've been doing this a very, very long time. So obviously this is like it's like a second language to me. I really understand it. But we have systems ready to go for webinars. We have systems ready to go for video sales letter, info business funnels for people, because we are repeating the same thing over and over. So when people come to us, we normally just go, oh, we're going to take one of these off this shelf here. We're going to take one of those off that shelf there. We're going to plug them together, and we've got a ready-made system for people. So it doesn't have to be complicated. Keeping it simple is really the true key to success. So where does it start? Where does it finish? What's the most direct route that we want the contact to take? But what if they don't? What happens if they take a detour off route? We want to make sure that we don't have people just kind of going down the drain and falling through gaps in the customer journey. We want them to go from A to Z, but what happens if they take a detour off route, en route? So we want them to go from the opt-in page to the calendar, but what happens if they don't? What happens if they do book in, but they don't show up? So you're going to have you want to make sure what if they do, what if they don't, all the way along to make sure that you don't lose folks as they go along. And if they do kind of expire, then just make sure that you've got really good, whether it's weekly, whether it's monthly, regular, consistent communication going out in like an email to them of a digest, or delivering value to them of whatever it is that they've come in to find you for. If it's nutrition, if it's fitness, if it's anything else. The simpler, the better for your customers. Keep it conversational.
Can I throw a wrench in the bucket here, Lisa, just for fun?
Do I have a choice?
I'm tempted. So if you what is your philosophy of having just one offer and working with one type of customer? Like, if you're working with different types of industries, different types of offers, different types of things, and like, do I need to put together a different customer journey for every single one of those? Like, how do you go about it if you're not niching down? How do you go about it if you are niching down? Because there's a school of thought of like one offer, one industry, one price, one nothing. Everyone else I don't work with. And there's the other side of like, well, we work with everyone, but just for this one specific offer that's automation, or like,
Yeah.
where do you sit on that?
I think niching is good. I think that if the more narrow that your customer is, the better quality conversation that you can have with them. There are situations, my situation is probably a good example, which is we can build automations for anyone. Now, what I have learned is that we have different levels of where people can work with us. Like, we've got the snapshot that we're giving away today, but it's unlikely that people that are at the beginning of their business and their customer journey is going to want to work with us on a consulting level. So we normally work with people that already have an established offer, already have an established, or they know who their avatar is, because that's not what we're good at, revealing people's avatars and offer. You want to go with a marketing company or someone that's an expert at that. We build customer journeys for people that know who their customer is and know who their offer is. So that's my niche, right? Which is like, we're building all types of customer journeys, but we don't normally work with startups or hobby businesses, because I just know it doesn't work. I've been there, I've tried it, and that was like the red flag. So in the same with Facebook ads, if you are running paid ad traffic for people, when you're with dentists, you can work with any dentist because they're local businesses, but you're not going to work with dentists in the same local area, because then you've got a conflict. But you can turn that to chiropractors and physiotherapists and anybody else that's got an appointment based bricks and mortar business. So I think that it's very tempting to want to be able to help everybody, but I do find that does impact the marketing conversation, because you're not able to speak to that person who's got that problem. And so I'm very big on keeping it narrow.
I love it. And it's okay to niche down or segment down by technology as well. There are people that just do voice AI and that's all they do. There are people that just do landing pages and that's all they do. There's people that do AI employee or AI studio now and that's all they do. So you just have to figure out a way to stay organized and be able to say no to certain people that are outliers in your ecosystem of offers. You don't want those customers that are calling you at 10 p.m. and there's no, like, I don't know if you ever had a consulting engagement. Some of those are not fun. Like there's not a starting point and an ending point, and you look up, it's a year gone, and the guy only paid you 5K, and I'm like, dude, there's no end to this relationship. We there's no goal. It's just like they're just getting information. These are tough lessons you learn in the beginning of selling time. Then you learn how to sell systems instead.
100%. And I always talk, nobody has built a successful business by going from success to success. You only build a successful business by failing. And I like to fail forward fast. Sometimes I have to fail on the same thing several times just to be sure. But it's really important just to pick yourself up, to learn and to grow from it. We have a thing here about not sticking with a bad plan. It's like I can get like, no, I've invested this much time and this much money in this already. I'm gonna get it done no matter what. And that can be a really dangerous mindset to have as well. You need to learn, you need to grow, and you need to be able to move forward and let go of your mistakes. And not, it's like playing tennis, right? You play the bad shot. If you're focused on the bad shot that you just played, you're going to play another bad shot. So you don't want to be doing that. And I just had a thought as well, Paulson. For many years, I had a home services business. I ran a gas, plumbing, and heating company in London with 12 vans on the road. And we had different types of clients, because I can see here that Jenna has put in the group there that she's got different clients. So we had residential homeowner clients. We had real estate agents who were looking after properties that needed maintenance work. And then we also had installations where we were doing a lot of installations for people and commercial properties as well. So we had three very distinct customer journeys for the same business. And the conversation I'm having with the domestic homeowner versus the person that wants a boiler installation versus the person that wants remedial and repair works, they were very different conversations because we're solving a different problem.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's why I say to narrow down a niche, because if I'm just having just going, oh, this is what we do, people go, well, that doesn't feel like it's for me. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm very big on narrowing the conversation down.
Yeah, and to quickly add on to that, it's okay to have a neighborhood plan versus a house. Like what I mean by that is like it, having complementary industries that you work with all in the same neighborhood is okay, instead of just a certain type of house that's just like a dentist. Like for me, back then I would work with cosmetic dentists, I would work with Invisaligners, I would work with the general, I would work with the holistic dentist, I would work with the surgical guys, the plastic, like the TMJ people, there's sleep apnea, I mean there's plethora, orthodontists, I mean they're all in the same neighborhood, right? Even though they have different homes, different types of homes. So complementary industries can also work as well as a focus. Let's get back. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's like the customer journey, like you're saying, the dentist and the different types of dentistry can also lend itself to physiotherapists and chiropractors and, clinics. So that's, identifying who you are, that's how we do customer journeys, is like, well, this is bricks and mortar. Is it a gym, a membership? Is it services? Is it appointment based? It's really understanding all the different types of businesses that can be within that. But also, what a great success strategy is also finding someone who has a complementary business to you, who has the same audience as you, but is not in competition with you. So I might work a lot with marketing agencies who are doing traffic, or copywriters who are writing, or website designers. Now, these are all people who are complementary businesses that have the same clients as me, but we're not in direct competition, and we're able to strategically work with one another and pass business around. So if you're looking for more business, you're one strategic partnership away from success. So as we draw to a close before we go into Q&A, I will share the last few bits of wisdom that I have for you. Again, the beautiful Stephen Covey from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We always build with the end in mind. Like I said before, you don't want to be fixing your top of funnel and acquiring new clients if your sales process isn't locked in. So that's why having a look at the end and working your way backwards is where I like to start. I like to start at the point of conversion and making sure that anyone that I bring into this customer journey is going to be able to convert into cash first. Often I might even go down to fulfillment and go, well, once they've converted, am I going to be able to onboard them okay? So I normally start at the end of the customer journey and work my way backwards. The final thing is when you do get into actually building inside of HighLevel is making sure that you build in the right order. So when you're onboarding into your HighLevel application, or if you're doing it for somebody else, there's different steps to go through. You don't want to be starting to build a workflow, which is down here on the right, if you haven't got the forms and the emails that are going to go into that workflow. So if this, which is also, I have put this into the customer journey blueprint template that I've given you. Building in the right order will save you a lot of time from having to go back to the grocery store to go and get, oh, I've got a funnel, but I haven't got the form to go in it. Oh, I need to go back to the grocery store and get eggs. Oh, I've got the form, but I don't know which fields that I need in it. I'll go back to the grocery store to get the vanilla essence. So building in the right order is going to help you save time and also understand more about the elements of the recipe, the ingredients for the recipe that you need before you actually start to build stuff and be able to save you time and be really efficient with it. That's it. So that is included. Was it in this one? Yes. This is the map that is the template. Lucid is free. This is the template I've given you, which is everything that we've covered. I've put in here some of the exercises as well, which have been doubled up inside of the playbook. And there's also inside of the Lucid that you'll get, there's also a link to be able to get a copy of this playbook as well, to be able to centralize stuff. You'll see we put things in here like custom values and, you know, all sorts of things. So
I love it. So we're at 12:17. We've got about 13 minutes to do a Q&A. So just like yesterday, type in the word question before your question, or Q, and state the question, and we'll go through it as fast as we can. We want to end the stream right at 12:30 as always. Lisa, my biggest takeaway is sometimes, in business, you have to slow down to go faster,
it's so
right? And
counterintuitive though, isn't it?
it really is. And that's what it reminds me of. Sometimes we go so fast, then have to retract back and rebuild things while it's moving. So it's such a refreshing thought that you brought to the table. That's really like, hey, listen, build the foundation of a customer journey and focus on what's important and needed as you build forward. So resources, yes, the resources will be given to you either on an email if you signed up for today workshop. If not, our team can put together the link to the resources file. Jordan or someone in the community team will post that later on in the thread. Someone said this was an exceptional webinar. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We are not done. We got Q&A to go through. So I'm going to spend the next 10-15 minutes to rapid fire with all of you. And I'm seeing all the questions here. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm waiting for those to come in. There's always a little bit of a lag on Restream, about 10-15 seconds, if you look at the actual platforms versus what populates here. What are your final thoughts, Lisa? Where should someone start with everything you taught today?
Yeah, I think it's clarity on who, as I always say, just make sure you know what it is that you want to build. I know it's very like, oh, like, I just want to get something going. Taking the time now to really understand what the offer is, what the value is that you bring to the world, is going to help you refine it. I have been constantly refining this over time, over the last 15 years. I certainly have not finished here where I started. It has been a journey. I've made so many mistakes, some of them really, really expensive ones, which, I don't want to repeat. And some of them is like, it's like the 5-year overnight success. It's there isn't a quick win. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. If you are going to be working with strategic partners, whether it's someone to build with you or other types of relationships with people, please don't jump into bed with just the first person that comes along. Make sure that you are of like mind and that you've both got the same goals as well. Strategic partnerships are so wonderful. My business is built on them. But again, I have made mistakes. Our core values are locked in, and they're not just for hiring and firing our staff. Hired many clients based off the back of our core values as well. Do not stick with a bad plan. Don't stick with a client because you have a fear of losing that money. The toxicity that comes for you and maybe your team of working with someone that's a bad fit can have such a negative impact for such a long time. I can only tell you that when we fire poor fits as clients, the weight that feels like it's been lifted off our shoulders, we're all happy chappies after that, I can tell you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we've got someone that's describing their scenario, and I think you had shared your involvement with the certified admin program and how you leveraged that. And that's what I think of when I see this question. We got somebody asking, I'm looking for someone who can guide me through the journey, help me understand the skills I need, and show me the right path to grow and eventually work professionally with high level. And this is someone that's starting out from, if I can tell, and they're maybe a bit intimidated by all the 1,200 tools we have inside the system and don't know where to start.
Well, be aware of feature FOMO. Do not get feature FOMO. I mean, Sean's great for that. Is coming out here with a new feature, and it's only going to get more and more. Literally, we have to have an hour a week where we're reviewing the updates, which is why having a good customer journey locked in and sticking with the features that you need rather than the features that you want. If you're looking to get started to build high level out for people, then you absolutely should check out the Certified Admin program that is run by HighLevel. I did that a couple of years ago, and you will learn enough about it. It's not just about building, right? It's the strategy that we've looked at today of being able to talk to a client and create for them a simple customer journey that they need. We have clients coming to us all the time going, I need this feature. And I'm like, no, I've seen your customer journey. You don't need that. You haven't got a membership in a community. You don't need one. It's totally fine.
And is it true that you can get prospective customers being a certified admin? Like
Yeah.
apparently you can get customers through it.
There is a directory of certified admins. So when you join the certified admin community, not only do you get surrounded with hundreds and hundreds of lovely people of like mind who are sharing their knowledge and asking questions and giving you everything that you need. And I'm in that community too. But you have a directory page, and there's a directory of high level users, and high level staff are consistently sending inquiries to certified admins specifically so that they can serve inquiries coming into high level separately. So yes.
And
And you
that
saw it on my map, right? It was one of my targeting was the high level community, it was the high level directory.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of being a high-level certified admin. And by the way, it's not easy to get certified from what I know, compared to a lot of platforms. So if you do get certified, wear it with the badge of honor, if you ask me, because it's serious. There is like a full-on what is it? What do they call
Proctor.
it? Proctor. Yeah,
Proctor exam, and there's more coming in the certified admin community as well. There's some plans in the background to create even more value for certified admins. In fact, I tell you that one of my staff who heads up my CSM, my customer services here, was because she was in the certified, and I know that you're watching, Angeli. She was a certified admin, and that's how we found each other. And she's been working with me now for a couple of years, and she's fantastic. But I would not have given her a second look if she had not been a certified admin.
Love it. Robert's asking, what's the best way to create time-saving onboarding automation I can send to a new client?
So when you are the whole asset thing that we did in the customer journey, Robert, when we were looking at what do I need for this, is the same for your onboarding. When we're onboarding someone and I'm looking at the journey I'm onboarding them into, I'm going, well, what do we need? They're going to need to come to the call with a login for their domain. They're going to need to come to the call with their logins for Google so we can sync their calendar. So by diagnosing what it is that you need to have a great onboarding experience, keying up the client. So you go, come to the call with these things here, or add me as a delegate access to GoDaddy. And, how do you want your calendar set up? All of these things, get the client to come to the call with those things first. And then you have an onboarding call where you're connecting them and you're orientating them. So just see, the time saving is by you being organized enough to know what you're going to need from that client up front and ensuring that they come to the call with it.
Love it. Would you recommend a second lighter offer if they're not ready for a discovery call? More nurture or easier
Start.
starter package?
So yeah, you can have a lower barrier to entry offer. Book funnels often do this. Pay the postage just to get the book, and then you're into a book funnel where you're being queued up to come into the discovery call, depending on what your offer is and what your service is. I don't believe in discounting because I think that's a race to the bottom in price. I do believe in stacking up the offer and offering more value as possible, because if people don't want to pay your price, you don't want them as a client. If they're price sensitive like that, they're not going to value you. So depending on what your offer is and what your industry is, and if it's something that is appropriate, then you can have something that will allow people to come in, whether it's a lead magnet that's free or something that's less than $100.
Love it. So let's do this. Let's end there. I know there's more questions coming in and trickling in slowly here and there. So if Lisa, if you or anybody on your team wants to go through the platforms and comment and interact with the community, feel free to do so. Lisa, it's been such a fantastic last 2 days. Um, what are some final takeaways? And speak to those folks that are brand new, they're starting out, they have less than one or two clients, and they're just looking at HighLevel as this big mountain that they have to climb through. But I know it's possible. I know there's a lot there, but over time they get comfortable with it. But speak to those folks that are just starting out with the word of encouragement, if you don't mind.
Keep it simple. Rome was not built in a day. We all started somewhere and we didn't start as a success. You're not going to be a fantastic tennis player the first time you get on the court. I tried to tell my son that when he was 7. He was not very impressed. So just know, small, consistent acts every day. When you go to the gym, you don't lose weight or get fit from one session. So whether you are spending 5 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day, have a plan. Know what your success looks like. Small, consistent acts every day. Ask for help. There is so much help, whether it's in the Facebook community or whether it's on the other communities that HighLevel have on GoCollab. There is so much help out there for you. You just need to ask. And the only stupid question is the one that you're not asking. And every time that you ask a question, you are helping somebody else who's thinking it and not asking it.
I love it. For those of you that spent the time last 2 days, we are excited for you. We thank you for giving us your attention throughout this time. Later this week we have more events. So, every single week we have usually 3 or 4 virtual events that are happening, whether it's a 2-day workshop like this, or a master class, or a virtual podcast. Sometimes we have case studies that we stream as well, where we spend a lot of time with our customers in person and learn all about their business and share a full story about them. But either way, Lisa, will I see you at our next event, or at least at the conference in Dallas as usual?
Is that even a question, Paulson? I will be at Dallas in October. Obviously, the Manila dates have also just gone live as well. If you can get yourself to a high level meetup in whatever location you're in, get down there, get excited, and just remember that taking action, not just learning, but actually taking action is going to bring you success. Getting around people in a live environment is such a wonderful way to get inspired. You have to be there.
And the I'm glad you said that. The local hangouts are free. Like you can just come hang out. Almost every single city in the world, our goal is to bring a local hangout. We also have Chamber of Commerce like chapters that are launching across the United States right now. There's a whole team behind the scenes as well. So I know they've launched several everywhere. So get connected with fellow high levelers. But either way, Lisa, thank you. Bye for now. We'll see you in the next event.